Okay. Well, welcome everybody. We will be getting started now. And what we're going to be talking about today, and by the way, I am Dr. Mayra Llado for those that are on that do not know me. And I am here with my very good friend, Jan Frazier. I am actually in Orlando today. I usually would be calling from San Juan, Puerto Rico. And Jan, where are you right now? Are you in Bermuda?
Yes, I'm on the island of Bermuda.
Wonderful. Well, today we will be presenting, oops, okay. Oh, there we go. We will be presenting our webinar, Living in Love, 5 Steps to Creating the Fun, Excitement, and Long-Lasting Love You Want to Experience in Your Life. And I don't know about the rest of the ladies on the call, Jan, but I just love this
Oh
topic.
boy, I do too. It's a favorite of mine.
So I'm excited about some of the things we're going to be doing on just for the next hour. And so we'll talk about that just to start so we can all set some expectations about what we're going to be doing. So first of all, congratulations for attending the webinar. We know that there are a lot of other things that you could be doing right now. So we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to visit with us this afternoon and talk about some really fun and exciting topics, especially for us women. Now, if there's any men on the call, I don't want you to feel like you're outsiders or you're not welcome. But I think you'll get what we're talking about as we continue. So during this bit of time we're going to share together today, we're going to talk about our experience and how that might help you to discover a few things. And this was mentioned in the invitation. And the first thing is who the most important person is in your life and how that person can choose to be happy. So we're going to touch on that. Also, how to unearth and become aware of your greatest desires, how you can attract the people that you want to have into your life, how to go from where you are in life to where you really want to be. And I think for the most part, we really just want to inspire you. That is our greatest desire for this afternoon. So you ladies and gentlemen, if there are any out there, you are definitely in the right place if you want more out of life, if you aren't excited every day when you get out of bed. I don't know, but I can remember some days when that was me. If you want more fulfilling and
Yes.
long-lasting relationships, if you want to experience more fun and excitement on a daily basis, and this is a real biggie, and it's if you're open and ready to do things differently. If we do the same things we're doing now, we're going to get the same results we're getting now. Now, you're in the wrong place if what you're looking for is some kind of magic pill or shortcut. And, we all wish that that was there, right? That we could just take a pill and poof, there's, Mr. Right and our perfect, beautiful life, and nothing will ever go wrong. Well, it's not available yet. And actually, that would be kind of boring, I think. And definitely you're in the wrong place if you think that you depend on someone else to make a change. And finally, you're definitely in the wrong place if you're not willing to go for it. So hopefully everyone here is feeling like you're in the right place.
Oh, I think they are.
Wonderful. Actually, I'm going to do something and hopefully this will work. I will, so bear with me. I'm going to create a poll. Oh no. Oh no. This is going to take us like in a different place. Never mind. We're not doing that.
Well,
Myra,
Myra,
you're
you're
the
the technical
person.
I just thought I'd try it, but I think it'll just take us way off of out of base. So we're not going to do that. All right. So let's get going here. So this is what we're going to do today. We will be here for about an hour. Then we will definitely allot time for questions. If you do have a question during the webinar, if you want to write that down, or you could even write them in the chat box. And then we'll make sure that if we have not addressed them during the webinar, that we will get to that at the end. And this, we wanted you to take notes, but not necessarily of information, but of inspiration. Remember, this is what our main desire is today, is to inspire you to do things differently and to just go for it. Stick around until the end. At the end, we will be showing you how you can actually get a recording of this so you can listen to it over and over again in case you missed anything, or if you want to then really kind of take some additional notes aside from the ones you might have taken
And
today.
that's a great idea, because Jack Canfield always says you need to listen to something at least 6 times to really get it. So I'm happy that people stick around and be able to get that recording.
Excellent. Thanks, Jan. Well, let's talk about some of the things that are possible. As you see here, I think I was mentioning some of them before. One of them is to wake up every morning with enthusiasm and gratitude towards the day ahead. And I feel so blessed to actually be able to just say that is my life most days. And I want that for everyone on the call, and I know that Jan does as well. And it truly is possible. The second thing is to experience love and appreciation from your true soulmate. And for some of you, you may already be in that place where you are with your true soulmate. Maybe you're just not experiencing as much love as you'd like, or appreciation, or there's just something that you feel could be better. Or some of you might actually not have found that special person. And I want to tell you that I hope you'll be encouraged by the end of the call, because I know both Jan and I will be sharing our story. And they're both actually not like the perfect story of, hey, you met your first boyfriend, got married, and everybody's happily ever after. So hopefully that'll be very encouraging for those of you that have not yet found that soulmate. And what else is possible? Really to be, do, and live the life you have always dreamed of. And a lot of times people are just kind of going through the motions and think that there's no reason to actually do anything else or anything more, because that's just kind of how it is, and it's okay. You know what? It's not. And it's possible for you to have what you want. And finally, to truly live in love with every aspect of your life. And when we talk about living in love, it's like you're literally in love with everything about your life. And that's exciting. So here's the problem. Most women, and again, we're talking about most women because most of the people on the webinar are women, and we're going to be doing some special programs for women. So most women are not living the life that they had hoped for or even planned, and that really is sad, yet it really is true. Also, most women are chasing after the wrong things or problems. And as we mentioned before, there's a lot of women that are looking for that magic bullet or pill or even magic man to solve everything for them. And this all really, what it does is leads to frustration, overwhelm, doubt, low self-esteem, more stress, strained relationships, disappointment, and just yucky stuff.
Mayra?
Yes.
This is Jan. You're absolutely right. And I am loving this message. I'm thinking that your slide needs to advance just a bit.
Okay. You're not seeing the problem right now?
We're seeing you're in the wrong place if
Hmm.
the
Interesting.
magic pill, make a change or
Go.
go for it.
Okay, hold on. Because I have that one in front. How about now?
Okay. Not quite yet, unless someone else is seeing it or not.
Yeah, can somebody type in the chat window if they are seeing some common ways we sabotage ourselves? Or raise your hand if that's what you're seeing on the screen. Okay. So raise your hand if you're not seeing the slide on the screen. Rebecca. Okay. Okay, so something's going on here. Okay,
Okay.
guys. Thank you. Thank
While
you, Jan.
you are technically sorting this out, Mayra, I'll just chat for a little bit with people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason that Mayra and I are taking on this subject today and for probably the rest of our lives is that when we have visited with women and talked with women, no matter what country I'm in, no matter what the jurisdiction, it is a universal that women are striving to have a more successful and joy-filled life. And so much of that, oh, here's the problem. Our slide is there. So yes, we have some problem. So we're back to you, Mayra. Go ahead.
Okay, wonderful. So we mentioned some of these challenges and issues and problems that a lot of women face in today's day and age. And so we want to also mention, within that, some of the common ways that we sabotage ourselves. And if you relate to any of these, if you could just raise your hand, and that way we can know how
And
fear of
Mayra,
failure.
how do we raise our hand?
There is a little hand right next to your name, and it shows you, oh, Rebecca raised your hand. And a little while ago, a number of people raised their hand when,
Good. So
yes,
everyone is
Arden
able to
raised their
find the
hand.
hand?
I'm seeing people raising
Oh,
their hand. Okay, so
excellent.
we got a few people that can relate to fear of failure,
Yes.
avoiding.
Oh,
So things are happening and we just rather just kind of ignore and avoid them. Perfectionism. I'm raising my hand.
yes, I suffer from that.
Ooh, I see lots of hands going up, Jan.
Yes, lots of hands.
Lack of action.
Yes,
We know we want to do something, yet for some reason we just don't do it.
yes.
Settling. This was a biggie for me in the past. Settling.
I've been there too.
How about overwhelm? No, nobody wants to do a gazillion things at once. Yeah, we got a few that are in the overwhelm. Procrastination. Oh, my hand is up.
Mhm.
Fear of success. And that sounds kind of strange, but you'd be surprised how sometimes we want to be successful, yet it's kind of scary. Like, oh, then what? What happens if I am? How about some time? How about time management issues?
Oh, yes.
I've had that one sometimes too. Lack of clarity. This was a biggie for me too in the past. Oh, we've got number of hands going up, Jan.
That's great. I don't see the hands, but I'm right there with you.
And finally, fear of rejection. And that also, I think that's pretty, most of these are universal. It's not only to women. And so they're just things that tend to stop us from really experiencing what we want in life. Oh, and there we go. Ignoring was the last.
Right.
So, what is it that most women just want? And this is, Dan mentioned it at the beginning that when we've spoken to women and they just share with us the things that are really in their heart and that they truly desire. And a lot of women just want to be able to accomplish things that are important to them and that also contribute to others. Just want to be happy. Anybody just want to be happy? How about have fun and excitement? I am like so on board with that one.
Oh, good.
Oh, Sherry says she can't hear anything.
I know. That is, I
Oh,
turned off.
she hears us now.
Yes. Very good. I had the same issue as Sherry, but we're back now.
Great. Just want to be in a meaningful and long-lasting, loving relationship. Who doesn't want that?
Yes. Yes. So true.
Just want to feel passion and fulfillment from everything you do.
And deserve to be treasured.
And just if anybody has anything another one that is really, really, really something you just want, if you just want to type that into the question, that would be wonderful. We can share it. Okay, so it looks like, Jan, we've captured it.
Yes, I think we have.
And hold on. I have something. To be understood by others clearly.
Oh boy, that's that's a joy when we are understood completely by others, especially the very precious people in our lives.
Yes. Any others you just burning to share with the rest of the group? Okay. Wonderful. Well, you can actually have all these great things that we mentioned, be understood, have fulfilling and loving relationships, be able to accomplish the things you want, and really create the life you've dreamed about instead of settling for where you are. Now, first, we do need to make a shift. And we mentioned it at the beginning, doing things differently. I'm going to share a little bit about me, and then I'll let Jan share a little bit about her. I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Not sure where that's coming from.
You sound very good to us.
Oh, great. So maybe I'm just getting my own feedback.
It could be. That's a beautiful photograph.
That is a picture of my wedding day, August 8th, 2008. And I was like in cloud nine. That is one of the happiest days I can remember. And I have to say, it wasn't always that way. 2004, from the outside, it seemed like I had the perfect life. I had the perfect car, Yeah, somebody's hearing an echo. Okay. How about now? Jan, if you mute your mic for just 1 second, let's do a test.
Okay. I'll mute my mic.
Just 1 second. Okay. How about, can you still hear me? Raise your hand if you can still hear me.
How's that?
Okay, they can still hear me. Okay. Perfect. So 2004, I had this perfect life. It looked that way from the outside. I had perfect car, perfect house, the perfect business, the perfect man in my life. I mean, I was like living this dream life, or so it seemed. 2004, one morning, I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I literally did not recognize the person looking back at me. And I said, "Who are you?" And then I asked, "Whose life are you living?" And the answer that came back was shocking. It wasn't my life. And that just hit me, bam, right between the eyes. It was just like this moment where all of a sudden I felt trapped. I didn't know who I was anymore. And I didn't even know what I was doing in this house with this man and a lot of other things that I was involved in at that point. Yet it was a great day because it was the day that I decided that I was not going to do that anymore. That I was going to take responsibility and I was going to live my life, whatever that meant, which I didn't know yet. And that started my journey. And from that moment, I went on this path of self-discovery and becoming clear. And eventually it led me to being so in love with myself, first of all, to then meeting the man of my dreams, marrying him, just starting a wonderful business, being involved in work that fulfills me and brings me joy and happiness daily. It's just doing the things that I want and having opportunities to meet wonderful people like my wonderful friend Jan. And so this is part of the reason we're here because we want to share how this can be, like you can do that, you can have this too. And now I'm going to let her talk a little bit about her. There she is.
Mayra, you know how special you are. And just hearing you speak about your story brings me to an emotional state over here in my little study here in Bermuda. So I just have to celebrate Mayra for just a moment and the friendship that we have one with another as sisters do, as women do. We may not be the same age, we may not have the same background. I'm not bilingual. I'm bilingual like my dear friend Dr. Mayra. I have my PhD, my passion, heart, and desire, and she has a real doctor's degree. And yet we are close friends, as you who are listening to this webinar know that there is a sisterhood of women out there. And it's out of that love of wanting to support you. So hearing Mayra's story again and seeing that gorgeous photograph, of Mayra and her handsome Antonio is so inspiring. And I want to assure all of the women on the call that no matter how old you are, no matter where you are in life, there there are still wonderful opportunities to find someone to love if that's what you're looking for. Because I my husband found me, and I was 60 then. And my sister, she calls me almost every day, and she says, "Are you still in love? Are you still in love?" And of course, the answer always comes back, yes, I'm very blessed. And it is possible because I did get married at 60 to my wonderful husband. And the fun thing for Mayra and I, though we are different ages and she's much younger, that we were married in the same year, 2008, I on July 4th and she on August 8th. And it is, I consider it, um, it's certainly miraculous for me, and it will be miraculous for you as well. And it was my husband who was mesmerized to me. So all that Mayra and I are sharing with you today and working on yourself and taking the journey on yourself makes you just absolutely attractive in so many ways inside, and that glow comes outside. And if you're looking for someone, they can't help but spot you and with. I'm the one wearing the pink ribbon because every 3 minutes a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer. So each one of the volunteers on the breast cancer walk have a ribbon, and at a given time they are to give that ribbon to the woman that is closest to them. So I got the ribbon that day, and my husband, my wonderful husband, is always nearby when I'm on a walk. He's tremendously supportive. That was one of the things that really drew me to him, and he to me was he is a very big supporter of me and anything that I want to do. And I've never experienced that before. And it's wonderful to have someone in your life who wants you to to be the best that you can be, to strive to achieve whatever you want to achieve, to live your life purpose, to be the best. And I think that's all that we're talking about today, is that taking that journey, as Mayra says, and my part in this is just to tell all of you ladies out there, it is never too late. It is never too late to work on yourselves, to gain that positive attitude, and to mesmerize someone to you. It is never too late. So back to you, Mayra.
Thanks for sharing, Jan. I feel like we're kind of kindred spirits in our stories, and it's just, I feel so blessed to have you in my life and to be on this call with you and the rest of the gang. So
Likewise.
we were talking about, so what do we need to do? And part of what both Jan and I went through was the first step of what we want to share with you, and that is to acknowledge that person that's most important in your life. And in case you haven't figured that out, it's you, the person that you see in the mirror when you wake up and go to the bathroom every day. That person, you are the most important person in your life. And when you're okay, everyone else can be okay. So that's like the vital thing. So what does that mean? It means that you want to be the leader of your life. And that means to take 100% responsibility. And some of us that are in the Jack Canfield world are very familiar with what this means. And it's really to to be to take your power and use it, to be on purpose with how you respond to things, how you think about things, how you act, what you accept, what you allow. That's what it means to be the leader of your life, not letting others say how you're going to live your life, but rather you decide how that's going to work.
Myra,
Mm-hmm.
I was at a women's conference years ago, and you don't necessarily have to support her politics, or you might support her politics, but Hillary Clinton was there, and we know that she's been through some life trials and they've been on the front page. But something she said I never forgot that day. She said, be an actor on your stage instead of a supporting actor on someone else's. So I hear what you're saying. We need to take center stage in our life and take those acts keep us in the forefront on our own stage.
Yes. And this is a neat little formula that Jack also shared with us that came from, I believe it was W. Clement Stone, was it? And the
I think
form,
so.
yeah, I think so. And it's E plus R equals O. And basically, that we have events that occur during our life, and depending on how we respond to them, will determine the outcome that we experience. And so, if we want to have different outcomes or different results, then what we would what would be a good idea to consider is to change our responses rather than doing the same thing over again. I think it was Einstein who said, if doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different
Yes.
result is the definition of insanity.
Yes. And I've certainly had my share of doing the same things over and over again. And perhaps our all of our lovely women out there, you have had that experience as well, until you wake up and say, "Whoa, that's the same thing that I just did."
Yes, that just happens sometimes, doesn't it? We just go and do the same thing over. We
Yes.
forgot how it went the last time.
Right.
And step number two, and this is, remember, we talked about doing things differently. Step number two is what we refer to as the shift, and it has to do with making a change. And we've basically going within ourselves. This little EW squared is something that can remind you of what this all means, and basically is to go explore within yourself so you can express without. And a lot of times people spend forever just exploring out and looking for what is wrong outside of themselves, and instead of looking for, what can I change inside of me so that what I experience outside of myself is what I want. I don't know if that makes sense, but this was a huge shift for me, where if I was aligned within myself, then everything outside of myself was a completely different experience, and in a really good way. I don't know, Jan, if you want to make any
Sure.
comments on this.
Yes. I was jumping in because I didn't hear you. Everyone, women seem to have signatures. Like sometimes you'll see a lovely woman with 3-inch long fingernails,
Mm-hmm.
and you might see her with big hair, as we have in Texas. And I have been in Texas, and I have had big hair in Texas. So we have things on the outside, but we're talking about what's working on the inside. So we have signature physical features, but what's most important is what's inside, exploring that within so you can express it without in the world.
Absolutely. And we see this a lot in there. I think it was in this, I'm trying to remember the name of the author, but there's this book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And this was a plastic surgeon.
Malt.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Maltz, right. He observed how many women who underwent plastic surgery and changed features that they did not like or wanted to improve, they would still, it was kind of like they were still seeing the same thing. And it had to do with the image they were seeing inside their head versus what they were seeing, what was really outside. And this is what we're talking about, what is inside our mind, our unconscious or subconscious, and really going in there and making sure everything is aligned and we're clear so that what we express outside of ourselves is a match with that.
So true.
And step number 3 is being clear about what you want. And this this can be pretty interesting, if you ask people, oh, so what do you want? A lot of people just will say by default, I don't know. I don't know what I want. Or sometimes even worse, they'll just go, oh, whatever you want. So when we're experiencing things that when we want experience things instead of the ones we are, and I guess I've said that a little confusing, but when we want to experience something else, then it's important to be clear about what it is that we want to experience. And even specific. I'm thinking of a time when somebody asked for, I think they just wanted to have a little bit, they want to have more time to prepare for something. And they weren't specific, and okay, so they got maybe 5 minutes more.
Gonna
Okay.
bone.
Right. All right.
And so, Mayra, I couldn't hear you, so I jumped in there. But you have to be clear about what you want, and don't call things to you that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said to myself, wow, I've never broken a bone. I'm 63 years old. I wonder how that would feel. And that very next week, I slipped on some ice in California, and a log came down on my ankle, and I experienced what it'd be like to break a bone. So I learned, I had believed this all this time, but I still said that to myself. I wonder what it would feel like. So we need to be clear about what we want and verbalize that, and not what we don't want.
Sherry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
You can hear me, Jan? Okay, I think my headset seems to be kind of funny. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, wonderful. So this has to do with inquiring and asking yourself questions, or even asking others, because sometimes we don't necessarily see things the way others might see things. And this could be things we're good at, things that we're naturally make us happy, and we haven't noticed it for some reason. So other people can really help us in that way, and also to give us feedback about how we're doing in certain areas. So if we're wanting to have more, I think somebody mentioned being understood by others clearly. Okay, hold on. I think something happened here. Can you hear me now?
Supportive of you with no hidden agendas. Yes.
Can you hear me now, Jan?
Yes, I can.
Oh, yeah, I had like a lapse there.
Yes.
Okay. So really inquiring, and there's a lot of different questions we can ask ourselves, or we can ask others, and there's a lot of different exercises you can go through there's there's one we've done, I know, with Jack, for example, just getting together with someone, a partner, and just going back and forth asking, what do you want? And just really starting to figure out what that might be. Other ways are just to sit and reflect about times when you've been the most happy. Like you can just remember, like for me, I can go back to like my wedding day, or I can go back to when I'm at the beach, so things that you just love so much that when you think about them, just fill you up with joy or a smile or love. And these can be hints to what you want to experience, and it can help you create a little bit of a, I don't want to say map, but yeah, a little bit of a list or a plan about what it is you really want to experience and how you might start to take steps towards that. So really going within and inquiring. And step number 4 has to do with honoring yourself. And this was really big for me. I know when I was at that moment I shared with you in 2004, I was really not honoring myself. Like, not. And it had to do with I was not validating my values. I was really not being authentic because it was like I was an actress in some movie that wasn't my life.
Who is this woman?
Exactly. and and you will start to get signs and alerts. Life will start throwing them at you when you are invalidating yourself and when you're not being true to who you are and authentic. And this is how when you might be in a situation and maybe you get kind of this weird feeling, or you might even have a little voice that says, what are you doing here? Why are you doing this? Anybody ever had that happen? You can raise your hand on the panel. Okay. Rebecca's raising her hand. And has anybody ever ignored that? Mm-hmm. I did a lot.
Oh,
And
yes.
and I did because for some reason, and I don't know if any of you will relate to this, I thought that things were going to change, that it was okay. I could allow this to happen, or I could accept that because that was going to change outside of myself. Okay. I was totally outside of myself. And this is what we're talking about with when we're coming from within or when we're looking out. And this has
Uh,
to do with not settling too. Go ahead, Jen.
Myra, I was going to say, when I was engaged to be married
Mm-hmm.
the first time, I had a feeling I should call this thing off. My fiance showed a terrible temper. I said, Jan, this is not good. I was listening to my inner voice, realizing that this was not good for me. And yet, I thought, well, my parents will be so embarrassed in the community. People have already sent the wedding gifts. I have to go through with this. And so I did. 7 years. I served 7 years. It was a sentence. The wonderful thing about it, though, I have my 2 daughters, which were the brightest sparks and stars in that life together. But I know that we get inklings of our GPS, our internal guidance system, and sometimes we turn it off instead of receiving that message and acting on it.
Yes. Yes, 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 definitely. And there's a lot of things that we can do in this particular area. even sometimes
Yes.
figuring out what our values are, because we might not even be clear about that. We might think there's something, and along the journey figure out, oh, maybe that's really not it. So it's something we can definitely work on and figure out. And step number 5, and we're kind of in this area where we're inside ourselves, really figuring out, you know, who am I? What am I about? What are my values? How can I be true to who I really am? And a lot of this has to do with figuring out what stops us. And we mentioned a lot of the things at the beginning, like fears and limiting beliefs and things of this nature. And so this is where we really get an opportunity to explore and figure out what these things are so we can eliminate them, and then start to really step into our greatness, and be able to go from that place where we're aligning within, so we can start expressing from without this great, incredible woman is. And that's when we'll
That's a
start
beautiful thing,
attracting.
Myra.
That's when we'll start
Yes.
attracting that beautiful, incredible man, or even other women that we want to be in relationship with. Like
Yes.
Jan and
Yes.
myself, and I have so many others I can think of. And so exploring these fears, these negative thoughts, these limiting beliefs, and this is a piece that can take a little bit. It's not necessarily something we can say, okay, I'm going to get rid of all my limiting beliefs in an hour.
Yes. Put a timer on it.
But there's a lot of
Right.
things that we can do to help in have a plan, and methodically be clearing all of these, or you want to call these obstacles, or yeah, obstacles.
Yes.
You want to add anything else, Jan?
I was going to say we have ways to do this from our experiences, from our techniques, from our learning, from our experience with Jack. First met Jack in 1998, and I've been a student of his all this time. And there are techniques to help us rid ourselves of fears. And sometimes it can be absolutely miraculous. Other times, as Myra said, it takes a little more work and a little more effort, but it's so worth it when you can emerge with the real person you are. If you've ever felt the feeling of being with someone and you didn't really feel that you could reveal yourself. You couldn't really reveal the fact that you like to get in your jammies when you come home from work. You couldn't really reveal that maybe you really like to go swimming. And maybe you like to go swimming at night and when it's cooler, when it's warmer. You know, the personality traits that we have. You can't be goofy, because if you're goofy with this person, they will turn off toward you. So what I love is knowing that whoever you are and you choose to be with, they will love you right down to your bobby socks. And no matter who you are, they will love you. So I think we get rid of these negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, and we could conquer the world together. That's what sisters do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we've talked about, we've kind of been talking right at this level, at the surface of what an iceberg is. And it's interesting. I just love to see this picture because, this usually looks pretty big when you might be on a cruise ship or something, or even like a smaller craft, and think about what happened to the Titanic, right? And
Oh,
and the
yes.
reality is there's this big deal right underneath the surface. And this is really where a lot of these fears and limiting beliefs and programming that we've had throughout our life since we were little kids to all the way to wherever we're at now, lives. And sometimes it, like Jan said, there's things we can do to access them and change the program. And
Yes.
so that's something that definitely we'll want to be getting into as we talk about what you can do with us. At the end of your life, you're not going to care about if you achieve your dream. The question you will ask yourself is, did you go for it? And that's the truth. Because if you went for it, it doesn't matter. You'll be like for me, that's like the defining thing. As long as I've gone for it and I've just given it my all, then everything's perfect for me.
Yes.
And for Jan, if I don't know how, if you feel that you've gone for it, are you disappointed in yourself if you know you've done your all, you've given it your all?
I think it was fifth grade
Mm-hmm.
where my wonderful little teacher said, "Hitch your wagon to a star." I raised my hand. I said, "But what if you can't get to the star?" She said, "Then you'll land in the trees, and at least you'll be off the ground." So I always remember that. I go for the stars. I want to achieve the 39-mile walk for breast cancer. I want to be the best that I can be. I want to speak around the world. I want to do a lot of things. And if I'm brave in the attempt, then that's powerful. To me, I feel at rest about it. I go for it.
Absolutely. So we have two choices every day. I would say every day. One is to go down same old street and just do the same old thing that you've been doing every single day. And in case you even have a question about where you're going to get to, you're just going to stay in the same place. Or you can decide to live in love way, or take the live in love way. And so Jan and I, if you if you decide that way, we can actually help you. Same old street is basically just doing the same things you're doing now, or trying to deal or cope with the behaviors or these beliefs that we talked about, and ultimately just remain stuck. Stay in your comfort zone, which is comfortable, yet not really step into your greatness and fulfill what you were meant to fulfill in your life. Or you can just go for it, as we've been talking about. Roll up your sleeves, live the life that you've meant to live by clearing away any of these beliefs or limitations that you might be putting on yourself, and literally release the brakes in your life and live in love and freedom. And this is really what Jan and I want to share with others. So when you choose that, you choose to go for it and you go the live and love way, Jan and I can support you. And we're actually so excited about what we're going to be doing. And it's like I can hardly sleep. Literally. I think Jan,
I
when
know.
I saw your email at 2 a.m. last night, I was like, oh my gosh, I think we were connected.
I was so excited that we were going to be on this webinar tonight to talk and share and sisters one with another to support each other. And Myra and I came up with this live in love. It absolutely resonated with us. Loving yourself, loving others, loving your life. This is what we want for you. Yes, most of us have to work for a living. We have to do what we have to do, but we can have joy around that and through that. So that is what Live in Love is all about. We want to share with you how to do that. And when you surround yourself with positive people, Mayra is the most positive woman I know outside of myself. And so when you put two positive people together, then you're going to have to be positive. It just rubs off, and you can't get away from us.
It's contagious.
It is contagious. And so we'll draft you into the positive zone.
So we are actually starting a Live in Love coaching teleseries. This will be starting Monday, September 23rd. And actually, that link you see there, you can go there right now and you'll see all the dates of the calls. There's going to be a total of 8. And we will actually be going through everything we touched upon, but really going deep into it. And this is the LIVE framework, which we talked about leading, being the leader of your life. We mentioned inquiring, so really going within, validating, making sure that you're aware of what your values are, really going into that. So important. And exploring and eliminating all those limiting beliefs, fears, blocks, things that are keeping you right now from living the life that you really truly desire. And not only from living it, but really becoming that person that you were meant to become, because that's when you're going to attract that person that you're wanting to attract into your life, when you embody fully that person you were meant to become. So I will actually put that link. Go back. How do I go back? I wanted to get the link. Okay, I'm going to put that link into our, oops. All right. Oh, it's taking me to the link. This, okay. I don't know if my slide went away, Jan. You'll have to tell me.
Okay.
Your
slide went away.
Oh, okay.
And we're seeing your icons. Oh, wait. Okay. Now we're back to your Live in Love with your lady at the beach, and the site for the successinaction.com.
Yeah, I'm just going to type that into the window, so in case it's not like an active
And while
link.
you're typing that in,
and then you can talk a little bit more about what we're going to do.
Yeah, I want to assure everyone on the call that it's come along with us every Monday so that you will have total and complete support in these steps and more. You'll be sitting right there with us because you're going to feel very close, just like hopefully you are tonight in this webinar, with our slides, with our voices, with our caring and concern for you, which I believe you can feel. Then you know we're here for you. We want you to achieve that love of self and love of that special person, being able to find them. I didn't have my GPS going when I met my first husband, and he was the angry person, angry child, the therapist said. But my GPS is in full shape now, which let me know that when my soulmate came by, it was time to, yes, I will marry you. So if that's what you choose for your life, we want to help you and to be there for you. And I hope you feel close to us on this webinar. Are you back, Mayra?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Jan, I also wanted you to mention what we were going to be doing in November.
Okay. Now this is a wonderful, exciting thing. And for those of us who are listening and happen to live on the beautiful island of Bermuda, we are having our Women's Retreat. This is in-depth, be with Dr. Mayra and I for the weekend at a lovely place called the Spirit House. It's like camping inside. Bunk beds, grouped together, and feeling the spirit of each other for the weekend. It would start on Friday night after work, around 6:30 or 7, and we would spend the night. If you are a local and you want to go home, you absolutely want to go home, we will let you go home if you choose, but then you'd have to come back to us in the morning because it's all day Saturday and into Saturday night and Sunday till about 3 o'clock. So it's a full weekend of working on everything that we've talked about. So we're offering the Monday night series, the teleseries, but also if you wanted to accelerate your path of growth, you could spend the weekend with us. And we're calling that the Live and Love Retreat. And it's very, very reasonable for all the meals and the stay at the Spirit House. And of course, for Dr. Mayra and I, it's $397 for the weekend. That's all. There's no extra charge for meals or the stay. It's $397. We wanted to make it very doable for everyone. We'll take care of everything else. You just come and bring yourself. And we promise you that you'll have an amazing weekend.
Thanks, Jan. We're very excited about that. The date for that actually is November 1st through the 3rd. And
yes.
And we'll be getting to questions here in just a little bit. So one thing that I want to mention is you want to ask yourself not what it's going to cost you to take action. And actually, if you haven't gone to that page yet, the teleseminar, we also wanted to make it like super no-brainer. It's $97 for the eight sessions. They will be recorded in case you can't make them. And also we will have at the end a one-on-one session to make sure that you can start implementing what we've covered and our whole interaction throughout. We'll also have I believe it's a couple of Ask Us Anything calls, 3 of them, and those have not been scheduled yet. The regular calls are already scheduled, and they're Monday nights starting on September 23rd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
And please let us know if you happen to be a Bermuda person and it's an hour later, so that would be 9 o'clock for Bermuda people. And we want to hear from you. If you feel that's too late, we want to hear from you. And we take that into consideration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so basically, we just want you to consider what the cost is of not taking action. And we just really want you to be part of this journey with us. We're very excited. And if you did want to get the recording of this, hopefully it came out clean. I know we had a little bit of technical issues. You can email me at the email you see on the screen. I'm going to type it into the little deal as well.
At Dr. Mayra at MayraLlado.com. And in the subject line, recording please.
Yes. Thank you, Jan.
Dr. Mayra.
So we're going to open up for questions. If anyone has a question, if you want to raise your hand, I'm going to lower up all the hands. If you want to raise your hand in the panel, and we'll go ahead and unmute you. About anything. It could be about the retreat. It could be about what we talked about today. It could be about the up and coming teleseries. Anything at all. I think everyone is clear, Jan. Great.
Well, I was going to say there was a lot of material in this webinar, and there may be so much there that you want to review it. When you do get the recording, maybe something will come to you then as a question. We're here for you. We're not going anywhere. We're all about live in love. And as a confirmation of that, when Mayra and I were creating this webinar and talking about creating these retreats for women to make a difference in their life, I was at the store and I was attracted to this wonderful fragrance. It was a body lotion, and you won't believe it, but the title of the body lotion was Live in Love. I said, if that is not a confirmation, I don't know what is.
That was so
Live in
amazing.
love. So I want us all to concentrate on living in love. Every decision we make, a conscious decision to live in love, to not hold on to
Hello, Jan?
I hope you felt that on this call tonight. And as you reflect on the recording and listen to that, questions may come forward, and we're happy to answer those. And Mayra, how can people enroll in the teleseries? Can they just
If they go to that link, I believe I sent it. I'll put it back up. They can
okay,
register
they
there.
can enroll right there. So they
Mm-hmm.
register there. Oh, and there's a wonderful surprise for the Bermudian folks. If you decide to come to our wonderful women's retreat at Spirit House the first weekend in November, then the Tellus series is our gift to you. So if you want to accelerate your growth and you happen to be in Bermuda and it's not a big flight for you to drive over to Spirit House, then we want to celebrate you by gifting you with the teleseries. So you're going to have teleseries and the Bermuda weekend to really move forward in your life.
Jan, I just want to mention if there's anyone who wants to just come to Bermuda, you're welcome as well, and you would have the same benefit.
Yes, yes, we'd love to see you in Bermuda. And I'll even offer to pick you up at the airport.
Okay, now that can't be beat. Okay.
Now, especially because it's so fun. We drive on the left-hand side if you're calling from the U.S., and it's very fun. You'll think you're in London, but you're really in Bermuda.
Well, I just want to thank everyone again for joining us. Actually, we will be
Yes.
rebroadcasting this on Monday. So if you have any friends that you think might benefit from listening to what we talked about today, then please send them or just email us and we can make sure that we send you
You
or we'll
send them
just
the
send you
link.
we'll
Yes.
send everybody a new invite. How about that? And you can
Yes.
forward it.
Beautiful. Mayra, thank you so much for hosting this. I know you've made a difference for every single woman who is on this phone and this webinar tonight. So kudos to everyone for making the decision to get on the call. Thank you so much. We hope that we have helped you and that we will help you more in the future.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week. We love you.